Good morning, everyone, and welcome to PCCS's Empower Hour Season 2. My name is Alyssa D'Agusto.
And I'm Kevin Roman.
And we are here today with three special guests to talk about how PCCS's supports and services are still serving you during the pandemic. So with us today, we have Jacqueline Tocco, we have Lucia Rossi, and we have Gabriella Nuara, who are here today to talk about the supports and services that they oversee and how we can talk to you during COVID-19. So guys, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Happy to be here.
So can you guys give us a little brief introduction of who you are?
I'll go first. So my name is Jacqueline Tocco. I am the Director of Community Supports. I oversee our traditional community rehabilitation, respite, community rehabilitation in lieu of day-hab, as well as our ISS individual support services departments.
So I'm Gabriella Nuara. I am the Director of Career and Residential Supports. So I oversee our day programs, our employment programs, as well as our two residential group homes that we have at PCCS.
Hi, I'm Lucia Rossi, and I am PCCS's Intake and Benefits Specialist. So that means I assist you with intakes and enrollments.
It's so great to have you guys. I know a few of you are repeat performers, so thanks again for coming back.
At this point, yeah.
So thanks again for coming back, and thank you for kicking off our season 2. I'm going to keep throwing in that plug. Welcome back to season 2 of PCCS's Power Hour. So with that said, let's get started on a couple of questions that we have for you. I know that during the pandemic, we have had many questions coming in from families, people we support, about where are the accommodations and what are we doing to best prepare to make sure that our staff and people that we're supporting are staying healthy and safe during these real unprecedented times. So to be sure of that, we made sure we took a lot of accommodations. So can you guys talk to me a little bit about what it is that PCCS did, what your programs did specifically in the midst of COVID-19?
Yeah, I think the priority obviously was just providing support to the people that we serve and giving them the support in such a time of need. There was a lot of changes in regulations, program shutdown, program changes as a whole, things that we were allowed to do and weren't allowed to do. And we had to kind of tweak our programs to make sure that we were still providing support to the people already enrolled in our programs, to give them that continuous support that they're still looking for. For example, in our day program, unfortunately, all day programs across the board were shut for quite a while. I think we were closed from March until maybe, I want to say, about June. It could be a little bit before or after that. And really, like, the whole thing was really trying to figure out when we reopen how we could keep everybody safe and social distancing. And there was changes in transportation and the ways that we were going to provide those services. So we really did have to kind of change the way our program runs. I know that I've been on our Empower Hour before, and I talked about our Without Walls program where we're out in the community all day. Obviously, that had to kind of be tweaked because we needed to be safe and make sure that we weren't in the community, possibly exposing people that we support as well as our staff. So that definitely was a challenge for us. But we're here. We're still providing that support, and we're still want to get that information out to those families that are either enrolled with us and are not sure kind of what's going on, or people that are looking for services. We want to just make sure that they're aware that we're still here even through COVID.
That's great. And for those of you who are watching or have been following us on social media, we had a Giving Tuesday campaign that was funding our Technology for Telehealth program. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about how telehealth supports had been utilized? And we were able to raise almost $16,000. So I just want to give that little shout out to our donors and our contributors who really made sure that, the PCCS was being supported even during a real unprecedented time. So would you guys be able to talk a little bit about the technology that we are going to be purchasing and the way and how it's being used and what successes you've seen with telehealth?
Yeah, so telehealth really opened up something that we would have loved to been doing even before COVID, but it really allowed for us to actually continue services for the people that we do support and kind of make sure there's no gap. With telehealth, you have to be eligible for telehealth, so it's not going to work for everybody. The staff has to have remote capability. The person supported has to have remote capability. We were able to provide like hotspots if needed, iPads if needed. And with the Giving Tuesday, that was kind of our goal to kind of assess what's needed. How can we be more creative now that we have telehealth? We do want to begin doing some like group sessions and be a little bit more creative in using our telehealth capabilities. But it really allowed to continue supporting the people that are in our programs. Not only are our DSPs staffed to the people that we serve, but a lot of times they're almost family, so even having a gap in services could emotionally, be detrimental to the people that we support. So we were really able to use telehealth to help people maintain jobs and also help people maintain supports. Families were going through a lot as well. So just having that support, whether it's in person or through telehealth, was really important to kind of keep that momentum going.
Just to like kind of add to what Jackie said, I think like the other thing is like the resources that we were trying to get in the midst of a pandemic was so difficult. There's a number of free resources out there, which is like fantastic, but at some point you're looking for more resources. So the money also went to buying programs and buying memberships to different places that has more resources, especially for like a social emotional learning and conversations with people that we support, because they are going through a trauma as well. For them, their whole world has changed. So the resources, the technology is definitely something that we need in order to kind of even make it happen. But the resources also give the staff and the people that we support the ability to kind of talk about a wide variety of topics and not being kind of pigeonholed into this, like, oh, these are free, so this is what we can do. We've obviously as an agency have done the best that we can to purchase those items, but the total adds up. So, the donations have really helped in expanding the resources for us as well.
That's great. Thanks, Gab, for adding that in. So to be clear for our viewers, we are open and we are accepting enrollments and we are operating our day-to-days just as we were pre-COVID.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's great to hear. So with that said, I know we had scheduled a couple of information sessions. Can you tell us a little bit about what these information sessions are?
Yeah, so the information sessions is basically just a way for us to kind of get the information out to the people that we support and their families, whether they're already enrolled in our programs or they're not enrolled at all. This is kind of an information session that kind of like is a one size fits all kind of thing. If you are enrolled with PCCS, if you're enrolled with a different agency, or if you're just getting started on the services and you're just not know where to begin kind of thing, we kind of cover all of those topics and we kind of just explain in short, what we try to explain is what we are as an agency, who OPWDD is, and kind of what services are available to your child based on their age bracket. So if they're under 18, if they're over 18, what they're entitled to, and how we can, help during this time. And kind of just to explain that even though COVID has kind of taken a turn and kind of changed the way that we're doing things, like even though they're different, this is how we kind of did it before COVID. This is how we're doing it during COVID. And hopefully we'll have new supports and services different because, post-COVID, after COVID, what that would kind of look like. And hopefully, it's a nice mix of everything that we've been doing before and during.
Yeah, and so far, we've had a rather small group for the ones that we already had done. So we were kind of able to see what they're looking for and kind of really make it more personal. Moving forward, we'd prefer to have more people, but we'd still try to do that. So if you're already enrolled in OPWDD services, we wouldn't necessarily maybe go over that portion of it. We'd go over more of so what you're looking for. But so far, a lot of the parents have found it very helpful. It doesn't seem that anybody has really sat down to explain, from step one to getting into a provider agency and receiving services and what those services look like. So we've gotten some really great feedback.
That's great.
Yeah,
So
I
it
can
sounds
imagine.
like, oh, sorry,
Oh
Kevin.
no, pardon me. No, I
No,
just
that's all
imagine.
right. You go. Go right ahead.
No, I just know it just must be so complicated for somebody who is a parent who doesn't know, just in a regular sense, where to. There's so many words and Medicaid waiver services and everything, and then you pile on COVID on top of it. It becomes like almost unmanageable, you know?
It's a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the other thing is too is that COVID has definitely given us the ability to kind of, when COVID happened, like you had parents kind of calling you off the hook, asking thousands of questions, and it's like it was very frustrating for us just as much as it was for them, because the answer was we don't know. And it wasn't like we didn't know because we didn't want to know. It's like we didn't know because nobody knew. We were still trying to figure it out. And we have added Lucia to our teams, who is our intake and benefit specialist, like she had mentioned before, and she's been kind of the one having those conversations with the parents and kind of leading them through like what those steps are, and giving them that information. And we don't have all the answers. We have enough answers, and we continue to research, and we continue to pop in on information sessions or communicate with the state and get more answers to questions as they come up as needed. But Lucy has been doing great with connecting the parents with the programs and giving them kind of the information that they really need so that they're not as confused anymore. And that's kind of like what it's all about, really, is just providing some clarity during this very unprecedented time.
Yeah, we also get a lot of questions on like, what do programs look like right now, and how can it be person-centered and customized to their loved one? So based on their intake assessments and discussing what programs will work best, we figure out, okay, what is this how does this situation look the best for this person to thrive while being safe during COVID? And a lot of questions I get is, okay, how long does this take? And the answer is, I don't know, but I will surely update you, keep in touch with you, and answer any questions you have.
So it really sounds like you guys are working hard during a time where disconnection could be very easy. You seem to be trying to ensure that you're keeping things as personable and customizable, so that way the people that are inquiring for services or already receiving services and their families are still kind of in the know and fully transparent as much as you guys can be.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
I think that, like, at the end of the day, as a provider or as a someone that works with the provider agency like ours, like the goal at the end of the day is to just be person-centered. I mean, it's in our name, you know what I mean? But like, that's literally our job, is to create services and a plan around a person and their support at that time. And I think that, like, you kind of need to be personal, and it's like, it's still fantastic that we have the capability to do that even during this, this time. It's not easy, but we felt like it was kind of like our due diligence to make sure that happened.
So with there's an echo. It's been a while since we've been on Facebook Live, so I'm still trying to get back into the hang of things. So with the info sessions, where can we find more information about them?
So the information for them is on our website. So you are able, as a parent, or we even had in our last info session, we actually had some transition coordinators kind of come in, which was actually like great, because they were coming in from junior high schools and high schools and things like that, to kind of give out the information to those parents, like to go kind of back and kind of give that information out to them. So, you're able to kind of log on and you're able to answer like a very quick couple of questions. It's very like basic information just about your child, so that we as the presenters are able to kind of give you the information that you really need. To make sure that we're kind of centering around. So like, if you're a parent coming in and you're saying like that you do have services, that your child is under the age of 18, and it seems like a lot of people in that info session that are kind of logged on are all in that same bracket, it's like a key for us as the presenters, like, okay, we really don't need to talk about the over 18 services right now, because a lot of them are still kind of under this under 18 bracket. So let's kind of, like talk about this, really, to kind of just give that information out.
I'm glad you mentioned about the age brackets. Can you talk a little bit about, without giving away too much information, because we want people to be coming to our info sessions, but can you maybe talk a little bit about what programs specifically you guys are going to be covering, and that kind of what each program kind of entails?
Yeah. I guess we'll start off with the under 18. So I'll let Jackie take the lead on that one.
Okay, so for anybody who may have a child who is under 18, we are, like we've repeated before, we're still have enrollments coming in. We're still taking people. We have community habilitation, which is a service that can be provided in your home or in the community. We've limited that since COVID, so mostly taking place in the home. Our staff wear PPE at all times to ensure the safety of themselves as well as the person supported. Community habilitation is goal-oriented, so the person supported would have 2 to 3 goals that they may want to work on. For example, communication, money management, and the staff would assist them to work on those goals and achieve those goals. We also have and are working on group ComHab through telehealth, which is the same thing, except it would be provided through a Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever works best for the person, and focus on the goals as a group. We also have in-home respite, which is providing relief to the caregiver. Still a one-to-one service as well that can take place in the home or the community, but predominantly in the home as of right now. We have community habilitation. Oh, no, that's over 18. Sorry, let me stop there. That's what we have.
If you guys want more information, come to our info session.
Yeah.
There's the plug.
That's like a very short version.
Okay, I think I don't know if there's anything else. So then it's under that was under 18. So now we have over 18. Over 18, we have the day program, as we previously talked about. And we have kind of changed the way that we're kind of working our day program. People are getting supports in their homes. People are getting supports in our building. So our main building site is actually open. And people are kind of coming into the building and getting classes. We are, of course, maintaining social distancing. Everyone is wearing masks. We are, of course, taking temperatures and doing all the COVID screening things that we need to do. And it's more of a classroom setting, which is very different for our day program, where they're used to being outside all day. So it was definitely a shift for the people we support as well as the staff, having to put on more of a teacher hat all day long. But they're definitely enjoying it. They definitely like being around the people that are in their groups and things like that. So they're enjoying it, and that's really great. Our employment supports is obviously if we have someone that does have a job, we do go to their work site with them as we would pre-COVID, because they still need our support. People that are enrolled in our employment programs and they have a job, they are essential workers just as our DSPs are and as we are. So we still need to provide that support through them. But we also have people that are getting telehealth supports, which again is fantastic, and they're doing really great with that. And they're also doing groups, which is great. And then we have our residences, our 2 group homes. We're trying to keep them as busy as we can. We also have our ISS department that Jackie oversees too for housing, and people still need to move and they still need to find a place to live. So we're still doing the apartment hunting and all that stuff. I don't know, Jackie, if you want to add anything about ISS.
Yeah, so our individual support services or ISS program, it's for people who are over the age of 18 who are looking to live independently. We assist in finding an apartment. We provide ComHab services as well to assist the person with paying their bills, food shopping, money management, maintaining the cleanliness of their home, stuff like that. But we've still been on a roll, enrolling people, helping people move in, helping to support people transition to moving in and living independently. And it's been going really well. And I think the main thing with that program during COVID is just to ensure everybody understands the severity of the virus, is taking health and safety precautions. It was a lot of follow-up. Does this person even have enough food? in the beginning when everybody was buying toilet paper and you couldn't find toilet paper or cleaning supplies anywhere.
Yep.
It was really important for us to ensure that the people we support had those things. Even just having, an emergency flashlight, because, you never know what to expect if there's any a blackout or anything like that. Batteries. Medications was a big thing as well. We had to ensure everybody had their medications because we didn't know when they would be able to, have access to their medications again. And that, I think I said it already, but that's for people aged over 18, as well as we have community habilitation in lieu of day hab, which is pretty much day hab, but the person would get a one-to-one staff and follow the day hab schedule, and also have the flexibility to kind of do their own thing if they didn't want to follow the day hab schedule as well, which we'll get into more in our presentation as well.
And I'll just throw in also about intakes. Intakes are happening virtually, by video conference, by phone conference, whatever works best for the family. And the process of intakes, every step, maybe slowed down with COVID, but it's still happening. Mm-hmm. And I always check in to make sure things are moving forward, because right now there has been an increase in some of our programs and enrollments because people need services still, whether in the home or virtually. So we customize it to that person. And, it's really important that we still provide that, and we do that in the safest way possible. But if families want to know anything about the intake process, I would be happy to explain. But of course, I welcome you to come to the info sessions. Also, not only just families, but students as well. If students are studying social work or other fields that are related to disabilities and want to learn about services, I definitely invite you to come as well.
And I think the other thing is Lucia, again, is our intake person. So if anyone had any questions about any of the programs that we kind of offer across the board, Lucia is kind of the go-to. So I know that, Alyssa, you do that cute little thing where you put someone's email over here. I don't know if you want to do that. I feel like I'm pointing to nothing right now, but eventually it'll get there.
Yeah, you can definitely put my email there. Anyone has any questions from this video or about the info sessions, about intakes, please send me a message.
Love that. I do want to touch briefly on ISS and residential in general. I know, Jackie, if you could speak a little, or anybody really, about the withholdings that have been happening that we are rallying against the last couple of weeks / months. Is that covered in your workshop, or do you want to talk a little bit about it right now?
So we have, if you guys haven't already heard, there was talk about withholding about 20% of certain programs, and we went to a rally in order to fight against these withholdings. We had gathered people of our ISS program to really talk about the importance of services and what their DSP means to them and how they.
So wait, I just want to clarify. When we say withholdings, so basically they're holding on to a certain amount of funds.
Yes, and it's not promised that we would get those funds back.
Got you. Okay.
So you have to remember also with the pandemic, we had already had a lot of extra expenses that we weren't already expecting. So PPE. Right. We have to and have been supplying PPE to our DSPs. If they call, they tell us they need it, we're getting it to them. We've had some donations and stuff like that, but that's an extra expense that our agency wasn't expecting. Mm-hmm. So, and there's no talk about us getting that money back, So this 20% withhold is really going to be detrimental, especially if we're not going to be reimbursed for it. It's very difficult to tell families when they're expecting 100% reimbursement for some programs, and we can't provide that to them. When I was on a meeting with other agencies, they were even discussing, shutting some programs down, and that's how big and detrimental that this withholding can be. we spoke about the people in our ISS programs. Like I said, what your DSP means to you and how would you feel if you didn't have them anymore. And it was a really emotional meeting that we had with them because they're very passionate. Like I said, a lot of the DSPs aren't only their workers, it's family. Their DSPs have been working with them for years, and it's really scary. And that's the bottom line is that a lot of the people we support mentioned that they were scared. They don't know what to expect. And that's the scary part is you don't know if your staff is going to be there tomorrow, if we're going to be able to, help you provide for yourself. So I think that's, the word that we got a lot was it's scary. And it's not right. We're already a vulnerable population. And I think we posted some videos on our YouTube page and on our website, and you guys can really see the emotion that goes behind the possibility of these cuts.
Wow.
So, with that said, just another plug, we are having a virtual rally on December 9th at 11 a.m. So please register and hear, there's going to be legislators on there and people that are receiving supports and DSPs and people who are really being impacted and affected on these potential withholdings. So we invite you all to please join on December 9th at 11 a.m.
Follow our social media for more information.
At PCCS So with that said, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming here today to talk about your information sessions, the fact that, yes, we are open, and yes, we are trying to be as safe and healthy as possible and make sure that we're still providing these vital services and supports that the people that we support, look forward to, honestly. The PCCS family misses every single one of our members. So with that said, I'm going to put on the bottom of our screen, in order to register for our information sessions, you go to www.pccsny.org/events.
Lucy, if you could also point down.
Okay.
Great job, guys. And I want to thank you again for taking the time out to speak today. For more information, please visit our website. Please reach out to us via email, via social media. And I want to thank you guys again for coming. And to our viewers, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.